So I think we're going to be getting into this in just a second. Yes, we are. Marine versus Patience, Mouse Sports versus Alien Invasion. Looking forward to it. This is the series that I've been looking forward to all day long. Probably even longer than that. But now we have up to the top left, it's Patience. Ba-ba-bum. And up to the top right-hand corner are Red Terran. Representing Mouse Sports, it's HeRoMaRinE. Zoom in. Yeah. Okay. We have Merry-Go-Round, a map that has been fabled for quite a little bit now since its introduction into the map pool as a map that can be pretty good for Terrans depending on this particular setup that they go for. One thing that I think is really cool for Protoss on a map like this is that if they want to get really cheeky and cheesy, they can send a probe to the middle of the two bases that they are not spawned at, and then proxy something there, like a Stargate, for example, and then always know that that Oracle, one way or another, after they've scouted with their probe, is going to get there pretty quick. That's one thing that I love on this map. Patience could do something like that, but for now he is sending his probe up to the north and is going to be getting a scout out against his opponent pretty darn fast. So that's a good start here for Patience to be able to scout that out fast. And unfortunately for him, unlike a four-player map, if you see your opponent scouting out you first this quickly, then like you would know that he's at a he was at a close position. But because it's a three-player map, this does leave you a little bit in the dark. It's a theory that I talk about a lot with like Todd and Apollo in WCS that, you know, the majority of players do scout clockwise. So if HeRoMaRinE saw this probe come in this early and he decides to scout anti-clockwise, he could spot his opponent out pretty fast. And I think he is going to do that. So that's a nice start for Marine as well. On the back of this, though, we have Reaper opening for HeRoMaRinE. So that barracks is finished up, and I want to see what this Reaper is really going to get done. There's a little bit of room on way station to be able to jump back and forth from the main and natural, and now just planting down that command center. There was no way that probe could have really stuck around to delay that command center at all because of the threat of the Reaper. You don't want to lose a probe needlessly at the beginning, because back home, Patience wants to be getting himself that Nexus up. He wants to be getting himself his Mothership Core out so he can not only have that Mothership Core to defend, but also have a Nexus at his natural to use the Photon Overcharge on if he would need it. And Reaper's going to go to work, but really not get too much done. Has to check out early of that shift as the Mothership Core does push it away. And we actually have the engineering bay down behind this. Now, I love this from Terrans recently. Just that very, very quick engineering bay. One thing that's really great about this is the +1 weapons super fast. Thank you, Germans, for highlighting our engineering bay. Again, getting the +1 weapons very fast. +1 armor, generally in this matchup, actually isn't that useful. If you do the numbers, +1 armor is oftentimes overlooked compared to the weapons upgrades. Because, you know, weapons upgrades, you're just going to kill things faster with the small packets of damage that Bio does. Whereas the armor upgrades against things like, you know, the AoE, the Colossi, the big hard-hitting units, it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference going into the later stages of the game. But also, it acts as a second purpose if you get a whiff of your opponent opening up for something like a Stargate. Having those missile turrets in your mineral lines early on is very, very nice as well. And it's always something you've got to be careful of, because you can just insta-lose against some crazy Stargate openings that your Reaper hasn't really spotted. So, Robo and Forge behind this for Patience. That's a very, very standard go-to build here from Patience, just to, you know, eventually get his armor upgrades going with that Robo as well. We could see a Robo Bay very fast off this, and he could try to hit something quick with Colossi, but the timing, the specifically strong timing for that has kind of passed. Normally, if you were going to do something like that, like Robo into Robo Bay, I mean, obviously he's going to do that anyway. I don't see any other changes to why he wouldn't really do that for now, but sometimes you can get the Robo and then Robo Bay very, very fast, like super, super quick, and then just hit the big, big Colossus timings. But again, just to reiterate, that's not the case here. Not just yet, at least. As for now, the armor has started. He's getting out a Stalker or two just to hold himself strong at the back here. And Marine's so well positioned on this right-hand side to greet any kind of Oracle that would come in from a proxy position. He's already very, very scared of something like that. He's landing on his factory behind this 3 barracks opener off the 2 command centers so that you can get up to the starport eventually. Now, this Reaper still hasn't really got a whole lot of intel as to what his opponent's up to. He would love to ideally get in there, see the Robo, see the Forge, see the Robo Bay especially. So maybe we'll see a scan come down in a little bit for Marine. Whoa, patience. You just went 2 Stargates. All right, then. Interesting. I guess it's going to be for Phoenix. Reaper sees the Stargates, and he's now like, what are you up to? All right, interesting from Patience here. Very, very interesting. I assume it's a Phoenix so that he can kind of deal with some kind of Viking counts when he's got his Colossi up and running. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. Okay, so that's my theory. Like, just getting the Phoenix out to deal with the Vikings can always be quite nice, and also it can deal with drops and stuff up on the northern part of your main base, which is always very, very important. But as always, here is typical standard HeRoMaRinE. He's getting aggressive. He's pushing through the middle of the map. And the one reason I really, really like this from HeRoMaRinE is because he poked in. He saw double Stargates. There has to be some more tech behind that because of the timing of the Stargates. Why would you go for the tech that late? So he has to assume that this tech is very, very... Well, the unit count for his opponent is going to be very, very down indeed because he can't have that many gateways. You can't commit to that many units in that certain period of time. Thankfully for Patience, the one Colossus did come out just in the nick of time to save him. But with HeRoMaRinE piecing everything that he saw together, with those 2 Stargates being relatively delayed compared to how normal tech would be coming out, that was a nice little opportunity there for HeRoMaRinE to do something, but Photon Overcharge holds on strong at the natural. This gives Patience a little bit of an opportunity now down to the south to grab his 3rd base, because from seeing how much HeRoMaRinE committed to that initial poke out, there's not really too much of an opportunity for him to press down that left-hand side after sacrificing a bit of that bio force. But now Patience has already set himself up to deal with the follow-up kind of potential push, which would be those medevac drops over to his main base, as the Phoenix are already positioned up to the north, just beyond that main base. So I really like that start here from Patience. I think this is a really, really good start for him. And, well, Marine, he has to figure this out. He absolutely has to figure this out. He has to know that that 3rd base is going up. He has to go and deny it. That's one big thing. He sends 1 Marine up there to try and deal with that. Now, that Marine saw very, very few gateway units. Very few gateway units. That means that, just in general, he should still know that there is a big committal going on to the Stargates, because the Phoenix was still being cranked out. He got 6 in total. But he did send a Marine down here as well and saw base, a big deal. But Patience now realizes that that is a threat, and that is a location that can be contested. So he's going to keep something around there, I can guarantee. But he's got to be so careful about this because those Phoenix... Uh-oh. Well, okay, he has to drop everything. But the Phoenix can just still stick around because there was only... Well, there wasn't a whole lot of Marines in those medevacs. There was quite a bit of supply and Marauders in those medevacs, which don't really fend that off too quickly. The way in which we're seeing Patience having split up his units here is fantastic. And just in general, across all of his matchups now, we're seeing a lot of Phoenix incorporation from Patience. So using it to deny Mutalisks, well, using it even for harassment into aggressive moves in like PvZ for Patience, and now this matchup to deny some medevac attacks is really, really powerful and potent. And Patience, in essence, now has gotten away with a very quick 3rd. Well, a relatively quick 3rd against an opponent, HeRoMaRinE, who hasn't been able to really do any damage. Where a player normally like HeRoMaRinE would love to be doing the damage. That's where he thrives. That's where a player like HeRoMaRinE really gains traction in a game, by just continuously poking and prodding until you just fall apart. We've seen it a lot in his PVZs. PVTs, I should say, sorry. So last season in EPS, But now Patience is, he's looking strong, he's flying. I mean, he's got his Templar Archives about to finish up. He's got his Immortal count being added onto as well. HeRoMaRinE realized, you know, with the Colossi being there, that he needed to add it on a second starport, I believe. So did have double Viking production for a time, and he actually has +1 armor for those guys as well, which is always very useful. Yes, he does have the second starport. I wasn't seeing things. It's pretty much standard go-to nowadays here. But Patience has set himself up such a good army. Sees one Immortal. At least he knows now that the committal away from Colossi is beginning. Why would you see an Immortal walking down there if it wasn't? So I'm curious as to how many Vikings exactly he has. With those 3, I imagine he's going up to like 10 or something. Actually, no, I think he's going up to maybe like 14. But this is a big attempt at a drop here. Being covered by the Vikings against the Phoenix just so that they can escort them in. It's not the easiest place to engage into as well here for Patience because a lot of his army is in Zealots. That's a very choked up location. Zealots now going to funnel on through. And he's ended up picking up. One volley hits one of those Phoenix. Got to be careful. Got to be very careful about those things. A little bit of damage done. Not a huge amount, but again, poking and prodding is HeRoMaRiNE's style. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him now try and swing around to that third base, but Patience can anticipate that. He is the epitome of his name in this game. He hasn't done any harassment, really. A little bit of Zealot harassment to the third base to try and do some economical damage. But aside from that, not too much. And, uh-oh, hello. Okay, this is kind of scary because Patience is already maxed out. With that third base that he took a little bit quicker than he normally would have been able to after realizing that HeRoMaRinE couldn't do any more pressure after the initial poke that he went for at the natural. Patience is now also maxed out. Did Storm finish? I don't think so. But anyway, he's scanning forwards. He's looking to see what he can find. HeRoMaRinE now getting ever aggressive. And it's only really Archons and Zealots as well as the Colossi in there. The Vikings really need to do the damage that they have to kill off those Colossi at the back. Stimming back against this army. If he can kite these Zealots to a very strong effectiveness, then maybe he'll be able to do quite a bit of damage. The Vikings have done their job. It's all going to be on the Zealots and the Immortals now. The Archons at the back, really not doing a massive amount. They're getting a few volleys on those Vikings, but there's so much bio left over. All he has to do is micro this back and never let it get in range of him. He needs to replenish Colossi as Patience. Patience holds on, though. And the one reason why, you know, it was so easy for him to hold on is because, to be honest with you, his army is very strong still, even without the Colossi. And HeRoMaRinE brought a lot of SCVs with that to buffer, which did not pay off. He realized that Patience's army was getting out of control because that third base was so quick. It was just the full package. Now these Archons, 2 walk into a bit of a predicament. Got to be careful there. Control of the watchtower and no air units means that Patience doesn't have true vision if he's engaging around that watchtower. Oh wait, no, I'll tell a lie. He has an observer just above it, but not fully down to the south, so he doesn't see fully that area. He has to be careful about that, because HeRoMaRinE was trying to exploit that position. But now that's a lot of Zealots, a lot of extra Zealots. Nice feedback. Does catch one of those medevacs. Now 4 medevacs being replenished at any time, and HeRoMaRinE is going to go for a bit of a drop around this left-hand side. Trying to catch Patience completely out of position as he's lured his opponent's army right into the middle. But Patience has cranked it up a notch. I mean, he is flying in terms of supply right now, and he hasn't added on any more Colossi. So his AoE damage is fully in those Archons as this small army continues to pile on the pressure. But can he afford to completely abandon this location? He doesn't really have a huge army to be able to deal with this power play that we're seeing from Patience here, who marches on towards the third base. Good force field from him as well. Keep a lot of that bio back. The command center gets obliterated. But HeRoMaRinE is doing a little bit of damage at the back in the main base, getting a bit of that infrastructure. He's got to be so careful. He's got to be so careful about how he takes these engagements. He has to sort of step back. He has to keep out of range of the big damage that those Archons could do, especially those Immortals. If they started focus firing down on those Marauders, I don't think they are doing. They caught a few Marines there, but that army could disintegrate. One Nexus falls, but yeah, what does that matter? Oh, he actually gets a really good turnaround on these Archons as well as the Immortals. They all fall, and now it's not so easy for Patience to replenish. Marine needs to now seize his opportunity. He really needs to seize his opportunity. Not only that, but he probably needs to fly a command center from his main base down to that third once again. so that he can continue mining operations and make it all effective. He has 27 workers. It's not really a whole lot. He has a little bit more mining left over in his main, but Patience now, a timer is really against HeRoMaRinE. It really is. Patience, all he needs to do is continue macroing up. He needs to catch the units as they're warping in. He needs to catch any unit he can. If he can actually shut down a little bit of the production facilities in his opponent's main base, that would be nice. Any gateways, anything would be great. But it's still a race against time here for HeRoMaRinE, as these gateways will end up falling, but he's replenishing some down to the south, so it's not going to matter a whole lot in just a bit. And again, all of this production is still powered in the main base. Patience is gathering momentum. He's gathering power. HeRoMaRinE's army is sufficiently bigger. He has 30 supply more, so 85 to around 53-ish, if my eyes serve me right. HeRoMaRinE still... catching that Templar Archives is a nice pickup. No more Archons for you, sir. That causes a bit of a problem because now all he can warp in is really Zealots. Oh, and he lost the Twilight Council before as well, so he absolutely needs to get that Twilight Council down, the Templar Archives down again. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck on exclusively Zealots, Stalkers, and Sentries. HeRoMaRinE behind this has another command center in production. He's about to mine out his main. This small task force over on the right-hand side has found one of the mining bases of Patience. And there's very little production left here for Patience. He had the economy, but not the production capabilities to continue on with it. Wow, okay, he's gonna actually push in here. He could actually just pick up and run away with a lot of this, but the Zealots completely melt. That was a huge misstep there by Patience to lose that many Zealots. Another Nexus actually ends up falling down to the south. Oh dear. Wow, what a game so far. Okay, I'm happy with this. It's been a bit hectic, a bit haphazard, but I'm happy already. Oh god, it feels so good to be back to casting. All right. Going for the engagement once again, only one force field in that army, really not holding back this torrent of aggression that we're seeing from HeRoMaRinE, as Patience is crumbling here under the firepower of this bio, walking on forwards, doubling his army supply. There's really nothing he can do. Again, he only had gateway units to warp in. He didn't have the Templar Archives. There you go, GG. HeRoMaRinE takes game number 1. Wow, what a game to start things off in this best of 5. And our reigning EPS champion says, nuh-uh, Korea. You're not invading Germany that easily. Patience takes his glasses off in disbelief and cleans them. As he's like, how did I lose? Oh. And we're going to be getting into game number 2 in just a little bit. So, guys, big thanks for joining me here at the stream for EPS Germany Finals. My name's Kyle Aris, currently Fight Club Kale, joining you here for this this series. I didn't do any fighting. Don't believe that. I didn't do any fighting. I just fell over. And we are going to have game number 2 in just a little bit between these two players. So let's take a look back and see what Patience is up to. No, he's still just checking his glasses. He's still just checking his glasses to make sure that that wasn't actually that was real. That was real. And for now, let's see what's going to happen. If Marine brings a similar game to game number 1, then that would be cool. That would be very, very cool. That was an impressive play out of HeRoMaRinE there to come back after I mean, Patience had a very, very strong economical position in game number 1. Very strong. But now let's get into game number 2 as we have HeRoMaRinE versus Patience. Patience mentioned at the start that he's a little bit nervous of Marine's PVT. We have down to the bottom left-hand corner, it's a Marine. And up to the top right-hand corner, currently 1 game down, representing Alien Invasion. It is Patience. Perfect. Perfect Patience. Oh, I love Twitch chat. You guys speculating over how I got a black eye. Truly, I just fell over. I wish the story was more epic. Oh, I wish I'd gotten in a fight with a Velociraptor and he'd killed up his little claws and he'd just punched me in the face. It would be kind of hard considering the reach of a Velociraptor, but oh well. One can dream. All right, so we're on Overgrowth for game number 2 here at the ESL Pro Series for Germany. And I think, yeah, Marine just opens up exactly the same again. Any deviations from there would be a little bit strange for me. Overgrowth isn't necessarily the most amazing Reaper map to be able to jump into your opponent's main. Excuse me, but I think overall it's good to have a Reaper, at least just one Reaper on this map that can control the middle of the map for you, try and hunt down probes, and try and spot out proxies if needs be. Because again, Overgrowth is a map that hasn't exactly fully been figured out. I don't think anyone out there can say, yeah, I have a full grasp of Overgrowth, yeah, I'm really good, I'm Gosu. No, I don't think anyone else there exactly says that. Proxy locations are not entirely figured out as to where common ones would be, whereas, you know, like on a map like, I don't know, Polar Night or something like that, you can pretty much anticipate where, like, Stargates are going to be in a PvP series, for example. If there was a proxy one to be going down, we've seen people just fly straight to those locations with mothership cores and stuff. But Overgrowth, not as figured out. So, I think with this, we just have the one Reaper on the way into the reactor. So he's just looking to, again, it's more of a comfort of mind kind of thing. Just to be able to poke over there. If he gets denied, so what? That's fine. Look, I mean, he's already scouting out proxy locations first. So this is exactly what we were talking about before. The proxy locations on this map are a bit more important than, or, you know, even if it wasn't a proxy location, just making sure there isn't a probe down there doing something funky. All right, so Reaper's going to head on in now, get confirmation of that Nexus, and then get confirmation of being hit by a mothership core in the face. And has to get on out of there. You don't want to get hit in the face, Reaper. It's a bad time. It's a. I shouldn't tempt fate. I shouldn't say that I got punched because I didn't get. I just fell over. I just. Whatever. Whatever. The full story is on my Twitter. It's that I fell over. Fun times. I enjoy casting like this. I got some really funny looks on the way to the studio today. It was fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. Oh, okay, Twilight Council going down in a bit of a hidden spot. That's going to be hard for the Reaper to really see. But when you've got your hands bandaged up and you have a black eye, it kind of looks a bit suspicious, doesn't it? I think, yeah, it does look suspicious. But I cut my hands open pretty bad when I fell, so it really, really hurts. But it's okay. Anyway, what are we going on about? Something in this game. They're currently looking at the foliage here. We're having a horticultural lesson with our German players, our German stream, apparently. Wow, Dark Shrine. Okay. I was going to say, like, on a map like Overgrowth, Blink isn't quite as common. There's not really too much room to be able to blink into the main base. Ah, okay, that's what they were illustrating. Yeah, okay. Good job, German stream. They were illustrating the fact that, you know, Twilight Council doesn't really work out too well on this map because you can't blink into the main that well. So Dark Shrine is the probable go-to. And none of this has really been seen by HeRoMaRinE yet. And also, I feel very, very reluctant to say that he's likely to drop a scan in that area as well. So, in fact, you know what we could see? With that Robo facility actually going down as well, we could just see the pickup of these Dark Templars and just drop them in there. And be okay. Get a little bit of harassment done. Obviously, HeRoMaRinE did get his engineering bay down way before. I mean, +1's about to finish, but he didn't really commit to any missile turrets because he didn't feel too threatened by something like the Oracles, for example. Patience is going to be using this Dark Shrine play as more of just a harassment tool and not like a step towards an all-in. Because, I mean, Double Forge going down behind this, that's a big, big commit. No. What? Okay, I haven't done that on ladder. I'm going to be doing that on ladder when my hands have healed up. That sucks. I am sorry. I am so sorry, HeRoMaRinE, that had to happen to you. But that sucks. Clearly, I haven't watched enough games on this map. Good job, Patience. Good job. Was that scan in range of that pylon? Did he see that pylon? That's funny. All right, okay. So, Robo Bay behind this as well. Another Dark Templar gets warped in. He's like, oh, Oh, there's a missile turret there. Whoopsie daisies. And that Dark Templar gets away from the missile turret. God, this is causing a lot of damage here to HeRoMaRinE. Even if he's not just getting SCVs, he's getting like lots of Marines, which is a great pickup. An absolutely great pickup for Patience, who behind this is transitioning onto 1-1 and is also going for Robo Bay. Sick. I can't believe I didn't even... Oh, it seems so silly. I can't believe I didn't notice that pylon placement. Didn't even think about it. That's so cool. All right, anyway. So, for now, we have a very, very odd position here for Mr. HeRoMaRinE. He's lost 23 units, and quite a few of those were SCVs. And, well, ooh, that's a lot of gateways. Is he actually just going to go? The cool thing about what we just saw, though, is because with those Dark Templar, he actually got in there and saw exactly what was going on, you know? He saw the fact that he saw the progression, basically, of the starport, which is the most important thing. So he does have a third base on the way, but with the Colossi that he has out and the gateways that are about to finish up, if Patience wanted to, I feel that he could probably go for a push and still do something, you know, still do some damage, if not contain his opponent from getting a third base, thus making his third even more effective as time goes on. He may end up waiting for Blink if he wants to do something like that, because if he finds a Viking or two Vikings or anything, then he could quite happily just blink under them and kill them. So we're waiting out, finding out what's going on. Warps and Zealots. He still doesn't know about this pylon. Does he actually not? He must know about this pylon. Please, Germans, check the vision. But these Zealots, like, how did they get there? This pylon needs to die. That needs to die, because that is really, really annoying. Patience just keeps on exploiting that over and over. He finally grabs it, but those Zealots caused him a bit of a hindrance. This bio doesn't want to run into those two Colossi. No! No! All right, that was bad. That wasn't so good. That really hurt. Marine now has a very, very tall order ahead of him, because Patience, you know, he was grabbing the opportunity. He had the third base going down, yes, but he had a lot of gateways as well being added on. We mentioned it just before, like a few minutes before. There was a real opportunity for him to press on with this, and catching those units there as well just gives him even more of a reason to just press on and do some damage. If this doesn't kill him outright, he's doing a lot of damage economically because he has his third base mining behind this. Double time warp goes down, SCVs get pulled off the line, but HeRoMaRinE is not going to be holding on against this with those two Colossi completely raining across this entire position. GG for game number 2. Patience takes it, and we are now 1 apiece. All right, back to KL Cam as we now wait for our third game here. And Marine kind of just got a little bit blindsided there. You blindsided, yeah. In this game. That pylon was really, really annoying. Obviously, the Dark Shrine not being scouted out, a bit of annoyance as well, but it was going to be very, very hard for him to actually spot that during that entire time. So, Patience tying it up 1-1. So we now go on to game number 3 in just a little bit. As Patience... Now, I think in the end, that gives him a sigh of, that's like a sigh of relief for Patience, right? After game number 1, he kind of like got blindsided, as I said before. No, actually, no. That was about game number 2, whatever. So in game number 1, Marine kind of just ran him over with the way in which he was actually playing. So game number 2, though, good adaptation from Patience, good changes. That's the really cool thing about Protoss, is that you can actually do so much. You can do so much with the race. You have so many options with Protoss that it's very, very difficult for an opponent, like a Terran, for example, to react to absolutely everything. Third map's going to be Habitation Station here, between these two guys. A Marine now is going to be probably, I don't think he'll be too flustered by that. I think that, you know, after losing out to something like Dark Shrine harassment and then into a push like that, it's not really gonna matter too much. So he'll go into this with a fresh mindset and be okay, I think. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for tuning in for the EPS Germany Finals here for 2014 for spring. My name's Kyle Aris casting solo here as Apollo is in the hospital. No, he's not. He's in Australia. All right, let's get into game number 3. As we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Protoss, it is Alien Invasion's Patience. Ba-ba-ba-bom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. They're taking longer than I expected them to. Yeah. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran. Representing Mouse Sports, it is Marine. Yeah. All right, okay. I think I've made... I should stop with the black eye jokes now. I'm done, guys. I fell over. It's okay. It wasn't Apollo. It wasn't some other person. It wasn't a raptor. It wasn't. What else did I say? It wasn't a door. I didn't lose a bet to Carmack. It wasn't Slivko. Just fell over. It was the derpiest. I really wish there was like some guy filming me as I fell over, because that would have been the best blooper ever. That would have been absolutely awesome. I was running, okay, so whilst this game's getting going, I was running full pelt from train to train, and I swerved to dodge some guy because he randomly walked in my way, even though he could see me coming, and then I fell flat on my face. Like, I tripped really hard, and that's why I have all these injuries. It's out of the way. I'm not making any more jokes. All right. Okay, so into Starcraft. 1-1. Best of 5. Player who wins the next 2 goes to the finals. It was totes a raptor, mate. With his little arms, with his little claws punching away. Totes a raptor. I have fun when I solo cast. Such a lame injury. No, I know it's a lame injury, man. I know it's totally lame. I wish I had a better story. Anyway. All right, 2 barracks behind this, as his go-to. But he did go for barracks for command center first, even. I wonder if Patience is going to look for any opportunity to actually deny this. Good control, though, by HeRoMaRinE to just have 1 SCV down there, not only repairing, but also denying that pro from doing anything else. Normally, in the past at least, you would have seen like two SCVs having to come down, 1 to chase away, 1 to repair. But good control so far. Nexus goes down for Patience, so he's not really going to look to capitalize on the fact that his opponent got away with this command center first. So good job by HeRoMaRinE to have dealt with that. Wunderbar, wunderbar, dankeschön. And this SCV goes in, sees the additional second gas at that particular time, and sees this pylon up to the top right. Now, he may be a little wary of this pylon, just in case something like Stargate would get thrown down because it is such short distances. But with how we've seen Patience playing in the past 2 games, I think that Stargate, after HeRoMaRinE saw that pylon, would be a little bit predictable. So, as our Germans are pointing out here. So, I'm not sure why you're looking at there, but okay. So, anyway, it's going to be the Robo because Stargate would have been too predictable from that spot, as we were saying before. Oh god, guys, I love reading Twitch chat. You guys crack me up. I keep like glancing down and there's all these extra stories about how this happened. I love it. Tweet me them. Please just tweet me all of them. It's great. Damn you, ground. People saying you should see the other guy. Well, the other guy is just a grey pavement, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's a bit of blood on him, but I think it's more my blood than his. All right, so Forge got added on behind the Robo as well. So a standard play here from Patience with the armor and the observers. Just going to place those observers in between his opponent's main and his just so that he can spot what's going on eventually. And I'm curious as to see if Patience is going to revert back to that kind of Stargate style that he played in game number 1. I think that Stargate style could have worked out a little bit better if the Phoenix had done a bit more of a job of dealing with the Vikings when it came to the end engagement. Or the pivotal engagement, I should say. But anyway. Immortals. Immortals being chrono boosted out. And a robo. Alright. And the robo has been spotted. This SCV has been left. The mercy of the Mothership Core knows no bounds up until the point where she realizes he's still there and then kills him. Bye-bye, SCV. The factory's at an okay timing. Like, because of the way he opened with a command center into barracks and then just tried to solidify himself on that bio play so he wasn't being hit by anything too wacky. The factory's not terrible. I mean, he had to absolutely start that as soon as he saw the Robo Bay because you don't want to get caught with your pants down. With your Viking pants down, you don't want to get caught with those down. That'd be bad. The Vikings can wear pants, just so you know. When they land, they can wear pants. They have little legs. They must do if they can walk, right? So there's a Warp Prism in production. Is he actually going to go for double Immortal drop harassment? I think he is. Letting that up the ramp might not be the best of decisions. He needs to go for the Photon Overcharge. And all those Marines just walked in. What is going on? The ones at the back, they could have been sealed out, but this has ruined his plans. Get the Warp Prism. Oh, actually, no, get the Immortal. Get the Warp Prism. Get the... Oh, he can't see it. That's really sad that he couldn't see that. That was a good save by Patience there in the end, but it could have been made a lot easier by... that could have been made a lot easier to save that Immortals by actually having the double force fields at exactly the right position on the ramp. So there was a bit of a mishap there in the force field positionings. So for now we have extra barracks being added on whilst that command center just starts. So this is, I mean, exactly what we normally see from him. Ooh, calm down. Immortal does not want to be dying. That's some expensive units. I mean, him... Marine getting that one Immortal at the very beginning is something that I just didn't expect at all. I didn't expect him to get that one. But now we have the Colossi being added in. There's one already out in the field. The second one will come along as well very soon. And we have quite a few gateways here. 5 in total, but I'm under the impression this would just be to solidify... Oh, wait, no, he went 7. Never mind. He could go. He could go. Because he has +1 weapons on the way. That's the big... That's kind of the telltale of all of this. Like, normally you wouldn't go with a Forge and Robo opener, but because he's getting +1 weapons and Blink, he's basically saying, well, you know, I really want to do the damage to you when I can. And the less you commit to armor upgrades as a Protoss earlier on, the more damage, like +2 weapons from a Terran is going to be doing, etc. Good Mothership Core positioning, though, there to greet that that drop if it comes along. And could just throw down the Photon Overcharge from there. But now, looks to press on forwards. There's really not a huge amount here for HeRoMaRinE to deal with that because a lot of his units were out of position. So he has to be careful. Ooh, there's a medevac. There's a medevac. Ooh, almost got it. Jeez, Germans, keep your eyes on things. And there's a good concave set up at the top of this ramp here by HeRoMaRinE. He absolutely needs to greet this perfectly. He needs to get on top of those Colossi, but that Time Warp is helping a lot to stop that. As well as those force fields as well. If any bio units had got caught on the other side of that, that would have been catastrophic. Mothership Core is going to end up falling, but it's already used its energy on the 2 Time Warps anyway. Not that useful anymore, apart from a little bit of extra DPS, but the 3 Colossi are certainly helping out a lot with that. Only 9 Stalkers in this composition so far, but they do have Blink, so any Vikings that try and come out and deal with this, they could easily get blinked under. There's 3 extra Stalkers that got added on as well. SCVs now come off the line to try and tank a lot of this, but this is a big, big deal. There's a few force fields actually left in this army. He's using them to seal off a small portion of this Bioforce, and GG, Patience takes game number 3. And that means he is 1 game away from the finals, and we are 1 game away from our PvP finals. And 1 game away from the EPS champion being knocked out. Marine is not going to be happy with that. Patience hit that really nicely. And you will, as a Terran, get lulled into a false sense of security by seeing, all right, Forge opener, kind of Robo Bay as well. Okay, I think you're just going to be powering forwards towards those armor upgrades, maybe going for that third base as well, but you've always got to identify what's going on in the middle of the map. Patience makes it look pretty simple during that game. Despite losing an Immortal at the beginning to that bio contingent that pushed in, Photon Overcharge is always going to make you trade relatively okay in that position because it's always doing damage, and he did save that second Immortal as well, which was nice. And you've got to remember that all of that build came off the back of no Immortal drop damage being done at all. Nothing was done aside from, you know, the units at the front from Marine dying because he moved in with those, and it was his choice, not Patience's. But imagine that build with Patience actually being able to do damage with those Immortals. That would have been a very, very scary build. And it works all the better against an opening that's 3 barracks orientated because you're only relying on Marines to try and hunt down that Warp Prism, right? There's not going to be a Viking out in time to really start hunting that down. So Warp Prism could be very, very scary at that point. But let's get into game number 4 now, as we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, our defending EPS champion. It is Marine. And over to the top right-hand corner, 1 game away from advancing on to the finals, representing Alien Invasion. His name is Patience. Patience is a scary opponent. I'm not surprised that HeRoMaRinE is in this position. Despite HeRoMaRinE being fantastic, Patience has shown during his past tournament runs that he is a force to be reckoned with and is now looking upon the German scene as his stomping ground. All right. Frost is our map. These positions, I would say Patience favored. If he wanted to bring a similar build to what we just saw to the table, he could easily do that, and he could easily really put on the hurt to Marine, kill him off completely with that kind of play. My weakness is PV pavement. I like that one. That one's good. All right, okay. So, let's see how Marine is going to react. Now, once again, Reaper opening from him. No surprises there. Absolutely a good choice. So, meanwhile, on the other side of things, Patience, with a game in hand, could get a little bit funky if he wanted to. Wouldn't be surprised if he did something totally crazy, but oh well. So Reaper's now in production, getting ahead over there, and maybe find him pretty quickly. I think if he does end up, yeah, he's scouting clockwise. Actually, with the way in which the SCV is sent, unless he spots that, like initially the Reaper might head down south. No, given the building time, it should be fine. So the SCV is going to get over there super fast. And you know what's really cool is that actually with this Reaper, if he gets over there, he could actually engineering bay block that natural. Because an SCV, a Reaper, and then an engineering bay block all synergize so well. Your opponent's only ever going to have a Zealot out for a long time. So Reaper can deny that and deal with that very, very quickly. He sees now this Zealot and isn't going to start an engineering bay. If he'd have started one when that probe was running away, then that would have been nice. But look at this, good denial. And that Reaper comes along. Please start an engineering bay. Make all my dreams come true. Oh, but the... Okay. So that window closes once another ship calls there. Oh, and actually, oh, sick control. Oh, that was sexy. Oh, to anticipate the SCV's movement like that and catch it on the retreat out, that was some good control there. Very nicely done by Patience early on in this game. Slight little lead in that, but behind that, obviously, Marine did get his command center on the way. And Nexus soon to follow here for Patience. I'm just watching back that Zealot getting that SCV. That was so good. I mean, in the end, the Zealot could never chase the Reaper, right? There's no point in even anticipating controlling against the Reaper. So... But anyway. So, Twilight Council goes down again for Patience. There is the opportunity to go for Blink on this map. much more so than Overgrowth, but could still see Dark Templar. The Twilight Council, I believe, is right at the back. So very, very hidden away. It's going to be hard for him to spot that. And notice how in the past couple of games, we haven't seen a single scan go down from HeRoMaRinE. He's been relying entirely on SCV scouts and Reaper scouts, which I'm quite surprised about, especially on a map like this now where it's going to be so hard for him to get the intel. He absolutely needs to know that that is going down. He needs to know it's a blink play. This 3 barracks opener from Terrans, as of late, has become very, very strong against these kind of blink plays. But with Patience having a game in hand and the opportunity to seal this out quick, I'm really not surprised that he's doing something like this. Reaper does not get much information. He may have just got a bare glimpse of the fact that that gas was not down, that one that was close to the Reaper dying, but I don't think he even got that. So this is going to get scary, because this blink play could hurt a lot. And he needed to know that there were no gases down at the natural to try and confirm something like this happening. There's quite a bit of gas banked up. There's already a few stalkers rallied out here already. And he drops a scan. He sees 3 gateways extra. He sees 4 gateways in total. That's not as common at this time, because there would normally be a bit of tech going down, in which the minerals would have been spent into. So he has 1 bunker at the front. He's rallying his bio to the top here. I don't think he fully realizes. No, he's just throwing down the factory. He's just throwing down the factory, so he doesn't fully anticipate this kind of blink play coming along. Why is the mothership core there, HeRoMaRinE? Why is the mothership core that far out, is the big question. That's because blink stalkers are on your doorstep, my friend, and they're going to be used to... That mothership core is going to be used to grant him the high ground vision. All right. So... Thankfully for HeRoMaRinE, Stim is about to finish, like very, very close to finishing, and that's going to shut this down completely. HeRoMaRinE, actually, you know how this looks? Patience has kind of faked a little bit of this to see if he could actually find some room to go for the blink play. He's not really aggressively warping in a huge amount. This isn't a killing blow. This is him trying to contain where he can. Patience will end up getting this bunker, and that's not too bad. Time warp there to slow a lot of these units down from actually moving forwards. He does have stim though, he's still got to be careful about that. If those units stim up and actually go for a killing blow, could be a bit scary. But again, this isn't like a super all-in from Patience. It's an investment initially, it's an opportunity cost to try and do some damage early on and then transition on. Losing that mothership core, that's a great snipe out there from HeRoMaRinE. Very good pickup. All right, so what was I talking about? Patience. Yeah, HeRoMaRinE didn't really overextend himself in this defense of the blink attack. He didn't get the full information from the very beginning, but he didn't overextend himself once he saw the stalkers around as well. He could have overreacted and thrown down bunkers everywhere, but Stim is holding him on quite strongly. Good control though by Patience. Wow. Very, very strong stalker control. And he's still looking for damage. He has the blink off cooldown, so he can continue to blink on quite happily. And just a few zealots in this army, just in case his opponent decides to charge on forwards. Those zealots are there predominantly just in case HeRoMaRinE commits fully to the push forwards. And then those zealots can tank up the SCVs whilst doing the damage as well. Continuing to blink back here is Patience. Really, really strong control, gotta say. There's still a strong and powerful bioforce behind this for HeRoMaRinE to hold on, but every time this happens, he's losing more and more SCVs. There's the transition to Storm behind this as well. Patience is executing this brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. Despite losing a few zealots here and there, it doesn't really matter. All right. I think we might be moments away from seeing Patience advance to the final. He can play it out safely. He can play it out completely fine. Now that those medevacs are there, that puts a bit more of a like a sting behind this, and losing some of those stalkers, that hurts as well. All right, Patience, you shouldn't have done that. You lost. That didn't need to happen. So that gives Marine now a great opportunity to jump back into this game. He's still got to be wary, though. The thing is that HeRoMaRinE doesn't have full understanding as to what is lying behind this. Because he knows it's a Twilight Council opener, and because he knows that his opponent was heavily invested into that tech, he could anticipate that the Templar Archives was down, and there is now the potential of High Templars there with feedbacks and storms to actually put a stunt in any kind of push he would go for. But there aren't any actual High Templars on the ridge of this main. They're all positioned down here at the natural. But they have accrued quite a bit of energy now to actually throw down the storms. Charge is done. Blink is done. Storm is done. All these components are going to work together. He drops the scan and instantly pulls back after realizing there was a storm there. That was a close call for HeRoMaRinE, but another storm hits. HeRoMaRinE normally very, very good dodging out of these storms. Preemptively splits up some of these units once again to try and pile on the pressure. Good storm dodging, good splits outside of it. And again, these storms really aren't hitting that many units at all. Marine, with this counter pressure, is doing well. He just needs to separate up some of these units even more. Continue rallying on his forces forwards because those Zealots now are really going to put a timer against this. He has to retreat out of there. Nice blink forward to try and catch a medevac, but doesn't in the end. More medevacs reinforcing. HeRoMaRinE needs to continue those reinforcements through the middle of the map. And he's also going to try and drop in the main, but that might be a little bit predictable here for Patience, who does have High Templars as well as Zealots laying in wait. All right. He sees the medevacs. He knows they're there. He drops the scan. Where was that scan? It was in the natural to see what was there. Drops it in the main as well. Sees a very, very strongly fortified setup. Gets himself one High Templar, gets a second. Warps in some Zealots to try and protect the rest. And actually, I think he caught a medevac there. That was a good pickup by Patience. Oh, I'm loving this series so far. I'm loving this series. Nice back and forth action between Patience and HeRoMaRinE here in game number 4. And now Marine is incorporating Widow Mines into his army. Ah, fantastic. Against this very, very Templar-based play, this Twilight-based play, Widow Mines can cause all sorts of havoc. It's going to mean the engagements are very slow for Patience. Not what the heavy Zealot charging player really wants. They want to get in your face quick. They want to charge in with all of those Zealots and do a lot of damage. But now Marine continuing the pressure. Setting up his Widow Mines as well for the retreat out, just so that the Zealots may end up being hit by them. Triggering those Widow Mines on a lot of Zealots is going to cause an absolute disaster. Picks up all of those units from the storm and goes straight into the main. Looks for anything, looks for a probe, looks for a pylon. Warp Prism now, positioning itself down to this bottom left. Spotted. It's like the Gordon Ramsay technique of casting. Zealots spotted. 10 Stalkers blinking. All right, another charge on forward. Does not want to go anywhere near those Widow Mines. He has to be so careful. I don't think he actually has many observers. He has like one there. But, ooh, it's in the scan and it gets killed off. Only by one of the Widow Mines as well, notice. So there's still 2 Widow Mines there that do have the charge. Storm drops, going for a few kills. Gets a lot of them. No reaction here from HeRoMaRinE. Patience knows he has to hold on. He knows that his opponent doesn't necessarily have the most amazing economy behind this. And there's the charge forwards once again. But as I said before, those Widow Mines really slow down these engagements for a player like Patience, who is so Zealot heavy. Some of these Widow Mines still have their charge, 3 in total down to that side. There's 3 more there reinforced up to the north that are trying to recharge where they can. Storm hits, but not too much. HeRoMaRinE constantly fantastic about splitting out of this. This slow engagement, Hero is constricting Patience to the very, very limits, killing off Zealot after Zealot. The Zealots can't do anything. He is having to warp in more because he doesn't have any other options, but they are just not the answer. Patience has turned up to a gunfight with a knife, my friends, and he is getting obliterated. Bit of friendly fire there, kills off a medevac though. The edge of that storm catches that medevac as well. 1 High Templar falls. But now he knows exactly where those Widow Mines are positioned. If he can throw down storms there, that'll be all right. A few probes get pulled off the line to actually go for this engagement as well. But HeRoMaRinE, with this constant aggression, has staged a fantastic onslaught. And there's not a whole lot Patience can do. He has 3 Zealots left to his name, 1 Archon that falls, 2 Immortals in there, but how can they get in range of all of this? The Widow Mines are going to pull back to a position of safety, realizing he's taking a little bit of damage lost on those Bioforces. And he also wants to be very, very mindful still of those storm drops. He picks up and goes into the main. Patience was so pressured at his natural, Uh-oh, those 3 Widow Mines on the ground. Oh my god, they're in an amazing position. Because the way in which that choke works out, oh, catches 1, catches 2. A little bit of splash damage done to the rest. Oh, the way in which that choke works out between the edge of the cliff as well as the gateways. Great positioning there by HeRoMaRinE. Still looking to press his advantage. He knows he has his opponent by the scruff of the neck. But the thing is that despite all of this aggression, Patience continues to hold on somehow, some way. What a game. What a game, as those guys would say over in America. Oh, are they Cats and Destiny? I think so. I know their names, I'm just joking around. Okay. Robo now gets replenished here for Patience. He actually brought back his 2 High Templars in that Warp Prism because he knew he absolutely needed those. Still another great engagement location here from HeRoMaRinE. And drop on this right-hand side. Ooh, needs to save that. Great pickup there by Patience. Those 2 High Templars have almost full energy. He does not want to be losing those. Those could be his linchpin to keeping this army back. As the Widow Mines separate themselves out. What a beautiful spread there by HeRoMaRinE. What a beautiful spread. It's going to be difficult for him to really engage through into that. Any Zealots that want to push on forwards against this bio are going to have a really, really hard time. If he gets a few hits and starts working away at that natural nexus, if he gets anything. But how does Patience break out? Every single time he tries, he is so pinned in. He actually steps over the normal mark with one of those Widow Mines. And now this is becoming really, really hard for Patience. He knows he's against it. He knows he's against the wall. There's the Photon Overcharge now to help on out. This might be his time to go. Brings the Archons down from the high ground as well. But that's so many Widow Mines that are doing a lot of damage to those Zealots. And with all of those now dead, Patience plummets in terms of supply. This Bioforce continuing to absolutely strangle down on this natural. What a great little game that we're seeing here from HeRoMaRinE to try and recover in the semifinals. There's very few Zealots left. Yes, he sees the Widow Mines. He's trying to clean up some close to him, but GG. HeRoMaRinE takes game number 4. What a sick game. What an impressive contain there. And HeRoMaRinE doesn't bat an eyelid. Fantastic. 2-2 now. 2-2 in this best of 5. What a game. All right, I'm going to go to a short break, guys. I need to kind of drink something. And then when we are back, we're going to have game number 5 to decide who moves on to the grand finals out of either Marine or Patience. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to get into game number 5 in just a second. Thank you very much for your patience, as we now have our final series to determine who is going to advance on into the next round, into the grand finals. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Patience or is it going to be HeRoMaRinE? One of these two players is going through to the final. Will it be HeRoMaRinE who wants to defend his previous championship, or will it be Patience who looks to invade Germany as the first Korean to try and clinch an EPS title here in Starcraft 2? As we have, spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, bringing it back for Germany, it's Marine. And up to the top left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss. Representing Alien Invasion, it's Patience. All right. Game number 5 now. All comes down to this. And we are on King Sejong Station for it. Okie dokes. So, what are going to be the builds? Will Patience bust out a fast Colossus play? Will he bust out a proxy? What is going to be his flavor here in the final game? Comes down to the wire. I expected this series to be the best one of the night. And it hasn't disappointed so far. What a great play by Marine in game number 4. What a great contained play. Widowmines in this matchup are very scary if you do not have the tools available to you as a Protoss player. And Marine emphasized that with major gusto. Major gusto. So, 1 second, fellows. Okay, sorry, just had to reply to an admin. So, for now, HeRoMaRinE is going to be going for Reaper play once again. And this on King Sejong Station is a pretty good choice. There is a little like nook that you can jump up there. It's not as noticeable on this side of the map, but on the other side of the map, over on the left-hand side of Patience's base, it's far more noticeable. Go and show us it, Germans. No, they're not going to show us it. Anyway, there's a pylon over here, so it's going to be a proxy Stargate. Great. So, Patience is gambling with his life, by the looks of things. And wait, he could actually go for a Robo. I would be surprised if he did, but it's going to be the Stargate. I mean, technically he had the money right, so it didn't quite line up as brilliantly as exactly with the cybernetics core, so it's not exactly the fastest one. He could have gone for a super fast gateway and then gone for that Stargate over in that position a bit quicker. But this is fine as well. Mothership core finishes up and probes are on the way. Now this Reaper needs to do a hell of a lot of scouting. Scout for your life, Reaper, because that Stargate up to the top right is going to be a nuisance. He can't jump up there? Really? I didn't realize that. Anyway, SCV died before I actually got in the base, I think. Which if it did, that's really, really annoying. Because then he may anticipate there's a pylon missing.
This better be good.
He really needs to spot that, though. Reaper, you're so close, Reaper. Oracle's on the way. And we only have, what do we have? We have 1 barracks. 1 barracks with a reactor. And he's following up with a Twilight Council. Oh my god. Is he actually gonna go? No. Oh no, this, oh. Uh-oh, okay, this is really, really bad. This is really, really bad that he actually saw that Twilight Council. The reason I say that, he was anticipating some kind of aggression. He didn't cancel the turret, did he? Please say he didn't cancel the turret. Please say he didn't cancel the turret. Yes, he didn't cancel. Okay, so if he'd have canceled the turret and assumed it was going to be a blink all-in from there, it's 2 very different responses to deal with an Oracle and then a blink attack. Now, dealing with the Oracle first here is very, very good. Letting that missile turret finish up is very, very good because he absolutely needs to push that away. But then now he has to, well, I take back that it wasn't good that he spotted that, because now it is. Because he's let that missile turret finish up. If he'd have seen that Twilight Council and been like, oh, well, okay, then I don't really need this missile turret in the main. I can just assume that it's going to be, you know, blink or something like that. But the thing is that with him getting in there and not seeing anything else before that, he actually sees the timing of the Twilight Council and then understood that there must have been something else going on the map. So that's good for HeRoMaRinE, but Patience here is still in a position where he can apply so much pressure. It's so difficult to deal with not only the Oracles that are flying around that can also join in the engagement with the Blink Stalkers, but at the same time, he needs the right defense, does HeRoMaRinE. He needs the right defense. He knows that there's no expansion. He knows that. So he's trying to send this SCV to get full confirmation that that is the case still. Patience right now, setting up a very, very strong assault. This is one of the reasons why I love Patience and how he actually executes games, because every single game, almost every single game, we have seen a different play from Patience. And if he can... he doesn't want to blink in just yet. That's a strong bio army. He needs his Oracle with that, actually. Like, if he wants to kill off some of those Marines as well, he would need his Oracle with it, and he's actually going to bring it. If he brings that Oracle and he doesn't get focused down in this engagement, this is a very, very hard composition to deal with here for him. A little bit of a miscontrol there by Patience. 3 of those Stalkers don't blink in, but the Oracle gets a few Marine kills, not really too many. But now the Stalkers are in a position where they're being fired at by none of the bunkers. All right, a little bit of a vulnerability here in the defenses of Marine. As Patience now is putting all of his hopes on this one base play. Oh, a really fiery start to this game. Actually blinks on forwards through the bunkers at the natural and catches a lot of this Bioforce as well as a lot of the SCVs. And now he's finding himself in a spot that is completely vulnerable to any kind of hold. Uh-oh, that's a lot of Stalkers doing a lot of damage. Marines need to get in that bunker very quickly, but there's only 1. 7 Stalkers still remain. 6 Marines are out on the field, but 4 of those are at the natural. He needs to catch those reinforcements. If he was to... Oh, wait, what is that? Is that Stim? Is that Stim or is it Concussive? I can't remember. It's Stim. Oh, it finished. It finished. It finished just before he was able to get that Tech Lab. But still more Stalkers blink up. He doesn't actually have any units to go for the Stim. A great play out of Patience here. Really punishing his opponent. GG. And Patience advances on to the finals. He is happy. He was nervous going into this best-of-5 series, but he defeats the current EPS champion and moves on to play against Showtime in the finals. So, guys, one thing is for sure. One, we are going to have a Protoss versus Protoss in the finals. That means we're going to have another Protoss champion here in the EPS. That was kind of derailed by HeRoMaRinE in the last season, who was our Terran, who was like the first Terran ever in EPS history to actually claim a championship here in Starcraft 2. But we're going to have another Protoss. One of them will be the victor here, and one of them will take second place. But also, one of them will be a first-time EPS champion, which is a big deal here in Germany for these guys. So, guys, without further ado, I'm going to go to a short break. And then when we are back, we're going to have the grand finals. It's going to be between ESC Showtime and Alien Invasion's Patience. For now, I'm going to leave the German broadcast on in the background just so you have something to look at. And then I am going to have a bit of a break. So join me in around, I would say, 15 minutes-ish when we're going to have that best-of-5 finals between Showtime